How's it going, guys? Welcome again. All right, so where we left off in the last video, we were doing our form validations for the email that we're gonna for the form that we're gonna use to send emails. Okay, so I wanted to do a separate video so that I can explain, elaborate a bit on how this all works. Because even I, when I first started or when I first saw this, it was a bit confusing for me. So in any case, like I showed you initially when we set up the Laravel project, um, this particular command over here will create what they call a mailable. Um, so this is a PHP file that is going to take is that is going to that has a constructor, for example, within here, right? It's a PHP file that has a constructor and it also has a build method. So now this is mainly used to retrieve data from wherever it's being passed through. Like for example, here it's used to retrieve data and then it uses that build method that you see here to pass that data through to the email template. I will show you now just shortly how that works. And so within the email template here, we can then retrieve that information and pass it through here to whichever place wherever we want within the template. So now, for example, let me close this. So let's go back to the controller. All right. So we did our validations here, right? And so now what we need to do is retrieve. So this mail function, this facade here, this is what sends the mail. And then these functions, what you call it, this send function is going to send that information wherever we send whatever information we want. Now you don't need a mailable. You can still send some stuff just with raw text. But if you want to use an email template, um, you then have to use that mailable and pass it in through to the send method. So, for example, we are sending an email to who? We are sending it to the receiver email, right? Which is going to be passed in through here. So now we are retrieving that field over here, and then now here within the tool method, we're gonna say request, sorry, request, and then we can either retrieve it using the input method over here where we say receiver email, or we can just access it as an object. So for example, we can do something like um, receiver underscore email. So you can receive. So this is who the email is going to be. This is the person who's going to receive the email. And what this does is that it's the information that you pass in here is going to be sent through to this email that we are receiving from that form of field of ours. So now here within the messaging mailable, how we decide how we go about sending information. By the way, I'm only just doing this because I know that it's going to be a little bit convoluted trying to write everything on the same line. So I'm just gonna do this so that we are able to see everything correctly. So we're gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna copy that over there, just paste it here a couple of times. All right. So now we're gonna get the first name of the individual who's sending the email. We're also gonna get the last name, correct? And then we're also gonna get the email the person is sending through. I mean, the email of the person who's sending the email, right? Let me put those commas there. And then what else? We also need the subject. It's the subject, right? So I'm gonna copy that again and paste it there, and then get the message there. Correct. All right, so this is all the information that's going to be passed through to this mailable class over here, and that information is going to be sent through to the receiver email, and you have to put that email in there in order for this to go to the user we are sending the email to. Now, since we've done this, this is all we need to do within the controller. Uh, okay, now we're done here. Okay, yeah, when we're done, we can then redirect. Uh, return redirect and we're just gonna say back, and then also set a success message. All right, email sent successfully. Okay, right. So yeah, so after the email has been sent, we will then go back to the page, to the login. I mean, to the form where we sent the email. So in fact, we can just set up our success message here at the top. Um, let's just do it within the card body, right? Okay. So we're gonna say session, and then success, and then here we will say alert, alert, success, border, and then border. Okay, these are just Bootstrap classes, by the way. And then also I just want the text to be centered. So I'll say text center, and then I'll just say margin 30. Okay, and then here we can just pass in this object. Just, sorry about that. Need to put it in square brackets, and then okay, that should be fine. Yeah. All right. So this will display the success message if we manage to send the email successfully. So now back to the whole mailable thing. So again, here we are sending the email to the receiver. This is where you put in the email, um, and then this is the information that's going to be sent along to that particular email. So now let's go to this messaging application, mailable there. So here within our app mail folder, we go to the messaging. So how we retrieve that information is through this constructor. So here we'll say uh, sender sender name, uh, sender, I'm gonna say sender last name. Here should be sender first name. What else are we receiving? We're gonna say sender email. What else are we taking? It's sender first name, last name, email, subject, and message. Okay, so then it's gonna be subject, and then message. Okay, so now here within this messaging class, this messaging mailable, we need to set properties. Um, we need to set public properties that are going to represent the information we are getting via that constructor. So the first one is going to be, and we're going to say first name. By the way, you can name this whatever you want, as long as whatever properties you set in here are set to the values that you're getting through the constructor. So let me show you. So let's just say first name, right? Public sender, last name, uh, public sender, email. Actually spelled that wrong. Sender email, right? And then public, um, what is it? Subject, and then public message. Now, if you're wondering why I set the first name property to that, because I wanted to show you how this actually works. So now in here we're gonna say this first name equals to sender first name, right? I'm gonna copy this, right? So we're gonna say sender last name equals to that uh, email equals to that subject equals to that message equals to that. So let's just recap here. Okay, so the reason I set the first name to just that is, well, I wanted to show you because it used to confuse me a lot as to what exactly was happening when I watched other tutorials. But in any case, whatever properties you set here within this mailable class, these are the properties you're going to access within here, this template. I'll show you just now how you do that as well. So again, this information here we're getting from um, the mailable class that we are inputting here within the send method. First name, email, first name, last name, email, subject, message, and then we're setting them. We are getting them via the constructor, and then these properties that we set up here within this mailable class. This mailable messaging mailable class. We then set the values of whatever we're getting from that send controller, and then setting them to the public properties that we set up here, these ones. So as you can see, I can even change this send last name to last name. And let's change that to last name. Did I do that right? Yeah. All right. So that you know that what exactly, so that I'm doing this so that you know what exactly we are accessing here within this mailable template, this template. So since we've done this, we are then now going to pass through this information. We are going to then access this information in the template. The other thing is this: I need to say from, right? And then in here we will pass in this um, sender uh, email. Okay, so this is what's going to display within here where it says where the email is coming from, right? So you don't need this. You don't necessarily need this, but for the sake of this tutorial, we're gonna pass this in through here because I also want to demonstrate something when we config the env file as to how the email is gonna be set. Okay, so here within the template, right, we've set up our public properties here. So now we can access this data or these properties here within the template. So now remember here we had a span tag, right? So here we're gonna display who the name of the person who sent the email, right? So we can do this. We can say what was it, first name, right? We can put this. I actually want to put the UC first. Okay, so this UC first function, what it's gonna do is it's gonna take the first letter of whatever the text is in there and set it up to an uppercase, right? Then I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna concatenate there and say last name. No, sorry, UC uh, first, right? And then put the last name field in there. Okay, so the first name field and the last name field that we're getting here are these two properties over here. And then now we're gonna get the send the email subject and message, right? So the title is gonna go over here, right? Again, we're gonna say We don't need the UC first, but if you want to put it there, you can. I just wanted to show you what you can. There's various options you can do. So we're gonna say the title. Where's the title? Sorry. Oh, sorry. It's subject, not title. So it's subject, right? And then the message will go through here. Okay. So remember, first name, last name, subject, and message that we are these variables that we're getting here are these properties up here. And then these properties will have data because the information that's passed through the constructor, which is over here, which is being set over here. We are then setting the values of these properties to what we're getting through the constructor. And so that is why whatever information is being passed through to via these objects over here, we are then able to access are going to be set to these properties over here, and then they'll be displayed here within this email template that we used earlier on. Okay, so now the other thing, how do we send this email? We have to come here within the .env file, right? So over here, by default, Laravel sets this to the Mailtrap. This is the functionality they use to people use to test emails. But today we're setting it up using what we set up within our Hmail server. So how you can do this, you can say localhost, or you can set up the name of your computer. And what I mean by that is, how can I say, let me do this. I'm going to open control panel just so I elaborate as to what I mean by that. So control panel, one second there. Okay, so let's go to systems and then let's go to system over there. So you can either put in the name of your computer. My current computer name is JTNB1, and so you can either put that over there or just localhost, and then the port we're gonna set to 255. All right. So now the username that we're gonna use, if you go back to Hmail server, we're gonna use this name over here, Contoso. This is the email that we're gonna use to process the email. So we're gonna paste that there and say at contoso.com. All right. The password I set up for contoso.com was contoso 1. Okay. So um, the email or the user that you put in here, you have the password that you place in here must be the exact same one as the one that you set up here within Hmail server. Okay. So now since we've done this, I then have to go to the terminal. I have to go back and then stop the server and then redeploy it again. Okay, and then I'll come back here on the form. All right, so I think we can proceed to test and see. This was the old email template. So we have user 3, right? So let's see if we can receive emails to user 3. So since we are done with the configuration here, what we need to then do is just say, I'm going to say user 1, user, and then say 1. The email that I'm going to use is user 1, right? And then the receiver is going to be user 3 at contoso.com. And the subject will be testing, sending emails with server. Okay. Uh, let's see. right, so if we set up everything correctly, this is the information we're going to get within our email there in Thunderbird. So let me press send. Okay, so it looks like we have an error. Okay, sender last name. Let me see. Where's that? Okay, so it looks like we have some issues there with our variables. Send the last name, send the email. Okay, there's issues there. Um, send a la, sorry, sender, send a last name, send the email, and send the subject. No, it's subject, right? And then there, it message is message. Sorry for that. I didn't see that part. But in any case, this should be fine now. Let's see if it'll work. I'm gonna resend the information. Okay, so we have an issue. Call the undefined function. You, where is it? Oh, it's over there. Apologies for the errors, guys. Um, you see first. You see first. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so let's see. Uh, expects parameter one to be a string. Okay, which one is that? Okay, let me see what's going on here. Oh, okay. Um, okay, I made a mistake over there. I put the UC first last name within this particular um uh within the parentheses there. So again, hopefully that was the last error. So let's try again. Oh, that won't work. I need to reload. Okay. Okay, again, user one, user one at contoso.com, user three, um, okay, let's see if this works now. Okay, what is this thing complaining about? Okay, let me just um, subject message. Okay, I'm not sure if it's complaining about the UC first thing, so I'm gonna remove it. First name, last name, first name, last name, subject, object given. Okay, so clearly there's an issue somewhere. I'm not sure where it is. Can you just guys give me a moment? I want to check this out. I'll be back in a moment. All right, guys, I'm back. Okay, so I don't know why exactly this that HTML chars error or exception that we were getting. For some odd reason, it doesn't want to allow me to use this variable in this way. So, for example, I'm going to change this back to how it was. So I don't know what exactly the issue is with using this, but if I use that, for example, I'll show you just now. So I'm just going to say user one again, and user one email, and then we're sending to user three. I'm going to take that subject, just going to copy that and paste it there. When I click send, all of a sudden it gives me this particular exception. So I don't know if um, but if I were to turn this back, for example, if I were to say I'm going to rename this to email, and then I have to do the exact same thing here. um, I'm going to say email message. I want to test it again, so just hold on. Okay, so now it goes through, and then if I were to show you, that's the email we just sent through just now. So I don't know why it's having an issue with naming it that way, but yeah, that's why we were getting that what you call it, that exception error. So in any case, what I did was I retyped all of these variables one by one to see which one was giving an issue. So it was the message, the email body that was giving an error. So for some odd reason, it doesn't want me to use this variable within the page. I don't know what exactly I'm doing wrong. So, but I'm just gonna paste it. I'm just gonna rename it to just email message in case if there's other issues. But in any case, to get back to the whole video. So, okay, so um, all right. So these variables that we see here that we've set up here, that's what we are accessing here within the view, the email template that we designed, which is going to be sitting here within the views, email, and then email template, right? And then the data that's being displayed, if I show you again, the data that's being displayed here is whatever we're typing in within our form here. So um, um, the we sending the email. The email was sent by user one. This was the title and the subject, and as you can see, that's the email of the user, user one, and the email was sent to user three. Now, even though this is showing email, the email that's showing here is user one. Um, Here within the config folder, I mean the env folder, though this is the user that's sending or that's processing the email, as long as within the mailable itself you set as to who the email is coming from, it'll display that email. Otherwise, by default, it's going to use the one that's sitting here within the one that we used here within the .env file. All right. So just to recap again, okay, so this is our form. It's posting whatever information that we are setting up here within the form. It's being posted here within the controller, the send email controller, and then the method that's processing the email is the send email method. We validate our forms, and then once everything is correct, we then pass that information to the mailable facade or the mail facade, and then we use the mailable to pass that information that we are getting from the form um, through. We are passing it via the constructor, and then we are setting the public properties within the mailable um, to these values that we're getting here within the constructor, and then we can then now access whatever data is set to these variables here within the controller. All right, so as you saw, if we can do another test if you want to see. We were sending originally to user 3, so let's send to user number 1, and then I'm going to say this is 3, and then the email that I'm going to use is going to be 3. I'm going to change that 2 to 3, and then let's say we're gonna send to user one. Um, that let's type in a different subject. Testing Hmail server emails, and then let's just pass whatever gibberish we want to type in here, and then send it through. Okay, message sent successfully, and then we come here, and then if you see the user one has a new message, if you check there, that's our email, and then that's the nonsense that we typed in, that's our subject, that's the user that sent the email. All right, so that's how you can send emails using Laravel and Hmail server. um, it's very simple. All you have to do is in Hmail server itself, you set up whatever email that you want. I set up contoso underscore email underscore server at contoso.com, and then I also gave it a password. And then here within the .env file within Laravel, that's the user that you set up there, and then the password that I set up within Hmail server. And then you use the mailable. If you want to display which email, who's sending the email, there you go there. There in the build method, you put in the from method as well, and then you set the email to this whichever email that you are using or passing through via the constructor or whatever. Or if you don't want to use it, then use the default one, which is this one over here. It's also fine. But yeah, and then whatever data that you want passed through to the template, you set it through the constructor. You set the public properties that are in the mailable what you call it class to whatever you're getting through the constructor, and then this build method will pass this information through to to the email template, and then you access whatever data using the properties that you set up here. And then if everything is correct, when you send an email, it should display correctly within the email template. All right, so yeah, that's basically it in terms of how you can send emails with Laravel and Hmail server. All right, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you were able to understand how you can use mailables to pass information through to the template using the mail facades and so forth. So in any case, that's it for the video. If you enjoyed what you've seen so far, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, cheers for now.